But yeah, these honey gouramis, I've got honeys and I've got red robin, I think it is.
Fishy, fishy, fishies, are you ready? Oh look, they're all coming over to have a look.
Whilst they're temperature acclimating, I'm just going to give you a little update on the Amazon aquarium.
And you go, yes, are they all in?
Welcome back to the vlog, guys. So in the last video, you saw me build all the racking for the new track. Oh, I'm trying not to step on everything. I've got loads of stuff down here and paint. Basically, I'm making little foam pads to go underneath all the new aquariums. So over on the new racks back there, we've got 60cm or 2-foot aquariums. In the last video, you saw me build the racking and put them on top. I was waiting for the lights to come, but they didn't arrive, and they are here now. So let's get them all filled up, lights on, and just see what they're going to look like, and make sure they don't collapse. No, they're not going to collapse. Of course they're not. Oh yes, how good is that? So really bright, to be fair. I'll probably turn them down because these lights actually have a dimmer function, and also they've got built-in timers, so I'll probably set it to 12 hours. As you guys know, I like to have my lights on for 12 hours. I know that goes against the grain of what many people say, but I find for me it just works really well. And I've also done these two tanks over here with a lonely little piece of Anubias in there. I just wanted to just see, I don't know what I was doing. Anyway, yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? So from back here, look at that, we've got loads going on. I mean, technically, you know, maybe, I don't know yet, I don't know. There's a lot to handle, you know. But what you guys have got to remember is that I set my tanks up in really simple ways that allow for simple fish keeping, or plant keeping, or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what I'm into, to be honest. But basically, I don't use CO2. I keep the light sort of low to medium level for long duration, and it means that plants don't go crazy fast, but also it means that I'm not constantly have to do maintenance. So most of my tanks, after they're set up, can just stay as they are for like 2-3 weeks, apart from like a little bit of water changes every day when you first set them up. But for instance, the Asian aquarium you can sort of see blurred out behind me is, I just do a water change on that every 3 weeks, and even then it's about 30-40%. That's it. That's all I do, and then trim the plants, obviously, that you guys have seen as well. Keeping on top of that now. Let's have a look, actually. So yeah, here is the Asian aquarium. It's looking so nice. After the last trim, it's all started to grow back on, you know, like all the tips of the plants have come back, which makes it look really sort of bumpy and natural. Looking great. I've got some sad news though. You know the powder blue gourami, the male one, passed away. No idea why. There's been no other losses in the tank of any other fish. You guys did tell me that those guys are very susceptible to just dying randomly, and yeah, I guess you're right. Not a lot you could do about it. I could go out and replace him, but you know, if I have experience like that with something, I tend to just stay away from it. But we have got our honey gouramis to go in there, which is going to be so cool. I've got them in the quarantine tank in the other studio. Let's go through. And here we are, guys. So this is studio number 2. We've got I'll come to everything else in a minute and just explain a little update. This tank here, though, is where our honey gouramis are. You can just see them hiding at the back there. I'm going to get rid of this or trim it right back because it's ridiculous, isn't it? That's pearlweed, guys. It grows crazy. You're all always joking about the amount of pearlweed I've got. I'm like a pearlweed factory in here. Look, there's pearlweed, there's pearlweed, there's pearlweed. Oh my goodness, look at this one. Sort it out, MD, sort it out. But yeah, these honey gouramis, I've got honeys and I've got red robin, I think it is. Very similar size. Apparently they're not actually the same fish. I just thought they were different colour morph, but that isn't the case at all. Apparently they're very different, but in a large tank they should be fine. They've been absolutely fine in this tiny little 30cm cube, 1-foot cube. They've now gotten used to me coming up to the tank closely and like touching it, and that means food. Let's see, this guy's waiting for the food now, but little does he know he's about to get the surprise of his life and live in a new amazing huge tank. So yeah, a little bit disheartened about the powder blue gourami dying, but in fish keeping sometimes these things happen. Now you need to look at the circumstances, see if other fish are dying, test your water, all those things, and make sure it isn't something you're doing wrong and that it is just that fish. Sometimes you get that fish. Looks like I had that fish. I keep saying that fish. Moving on. So first of all, I'm going to have to catch these little blighters, and to do that I'm probably going to have to just take all the plants and that out as well. They hide quite, they're very quick fish, to be honest. They should look a lot better in the other tank as well, because this one's not very bright, the light on it. It looks like it because the camera can't pick up the two sort of contrasting brightnesses. I don't know what that means, but yeah, they should look a lot better in the new tank. Anyway, let's get them out and get them in. Click subscribe. So I've caught them all. Now it's best to hang this pot inside the aquarium they're going in, because the temperature difference is minimal, but it might be relevant. So let's just hang them in and temperature acclimate them for about 20 minutes. Okay, here we are. Look, I'm just going to overhang them on the edge. I'm a bit close, aren't I? There we go. So right, you can see there, they're just hanging in the water, so that temperature of that water is in contact with that pot and it should transfer or whatever. I don't know, science, whatever. Right, whilst those guys are temperature acclimate, I don't know why I'm saying guys, they're fish. Whilst they're temperature acclimating, I'm just going to give you a little update on the Amazon aquarium behind me. So recently, you guys know we added a ton more fish, loads of different tetras. Let's have a look. So everything is doing amazing. Oh, I love it. It's so good. And the black neon tetras, I'm going to really struggle to pick them up now, aren't I? Let me get good focus going on. There we go, the black neon tetras, the colour on them is so nice. I think I want to get more of the black neons, if I'm honest. I really, really love the look of them. I've never had them before, you see. This is the first time I've kept black neon tetras. So glad I bought them. Like, they're way more colourful and enjoyable than you would think, because you think black neon, that doesn't work. Well, it does. Honestly, they're really cool. And also, the plecos. The plecos are so cool. I 100% want more plecos. I love them. I mean, they're not plecos, remember? They're bristlenose plecos, so they stay nice and small. I'm into the big plecos, don't get me wrong. It's just that I don't ever think I've got a tank big enough or one that's going to survive the onslaught that they might do to the plants. Now, I mean like digging up the roots and everything like that. Plecos tend to like to get into little nooks and crannies, or like if you look at the edge right there, look, of that rock, they'd try and get in that groove and they'd try and dig under just so they make their own little cave. That's where they can sort of cause problems with plants, because obviously you tend to have plants planted around those sort of areas where they're going to try and dig into. But just look at it, guys. Top plants all doing amazingly well as well, so that's awesome. Carpeting plants are carpeting. They're sending out runners. As I said before, the dwarf sage, that will try and cover the whole lot eventually, so I've got to keep on top of that. Fish-wise and aggression, absolutely brilliant. Not seen any problems. I've also not seen any deaths at all, which is really, really good. With a large number of fish, sometimes you will experience the odd one or two. It's completely common and normal for that to happen. It's a shame, don't get me wrong, but like it happens. And then moving around to this side, I think I just saw something moving behind here. There we go, look, pleco there. He's obviously loving the Amazon sword, but notice the Amazon sword isn't getting destroyed. That doesn't happen, guys. They just like big flat area. Oh, there's two there. Look at this guy. There's one on there and one on there. They will not destroy these leaves, trust me. They'll just take off anything that's on the leaves. The leaves are really super strong, so they're doing well. And this here, look, is a great little angle, isn't it? I love that. Really, you can really tell the depth then of all the sort of plants coming over the top, because straight on sometimes it's quite hard to tell. But yeah, massively impressed with the tank. I'm going to be getting another big shoal of more colourful blues and reds soon, and also the feature fish. So then we'll be sort of flying with this one, won't we? But back over in the other studio, look, the female gouramis, as I walked in, them were just right close, touching nose to nose, getting ready to say hello or fight to the death, one or the other. I don't know. Hopefully the first. I should probably top this water up first, shouldn't I, as well? Yeah, let me do that. Okay, it's now been 30 minutes and the fish are ready. Let's put them in. Fishies, are you ready? Oh, look, they're all coming over to have a look. Right, I'm just going to put them in. It's all the same water from me, so I'm not worried about that. In you go. Yes, are they all in? Yeah, they're all in. The yellows look instantly awesome, don't they? Oh, I love that. Try and get some focus going on. Okay, so the powder blues seem to be not interested at all. And the red robins, look, they've gone straight down here on top of the pearlweed. Oh, the algae eater. No, they're all good. There's not going to be any competition between those guys, so we shouldn't get any aggression there. And we're not, so that's cool. Right, let's move around. Where are the honeys gone? Oh, there they are. Alright, the 3 honeys at the back here, near the surface. So they've not darted off and hidden anywhere, which is really cool to see. I was a little bit worried that might happen. I mean, they're moving away from me now, which is annoying. Let me go back round. There we go, they look great. Okay, so we've got more colours popping. So we've basically got the yellows, we've got the blue, we've got the red, just these two. Where's the other one gone? I'm sure he'll come out when he's good and ready. Look at the tank though. Look at it. It looks amazing, doesn't it? I think we've done really well there. So the fish have now been in for 24 hours. Let's take a look at how they're getting on. And the answer is absolutely swimmingly. So look, there's the red robins. There we go, look, all 3 of them. So the other one was there. Good. And then we've got the honeys. There's 2 of them. Where's the other one? Guys, this is awful. I'm trying to present you to everyone and you're not there. Ah, there's the other honey, look, just hiding around here at the back. That's all good, and we've still got the powder blue still staying together. It's quite good that they all still stay in their own groups, isn't it? Like, even though they're kind of the same, but they're not the same, and yeah. So the whole tank health is just doing fantastically well. I couldn't be more pleased. Lots of you are still going to ask, so no, there is no CO2 in this. I do use a little bit of fertilizer in this, so it's just API's leaf zone. I just pour in a little bit. What it says to use every time I do a water change. I don't do it daily or anything like that. I just, you know, when I replace water, I replace nutrients. And that, to be honest guys, is how I'm able to keep a low-tech tank looking as it does. So I choose fast-growing plants, but give them medium light or low light even. To be honest, it's not very bright at all. Keep nutrient levels low, and just sort of leave it, you know. So I'm sort of simulating the effect of a high-tech tank, but it's not high-tech at all. And to be honest, if you put the two next to each other, high-tech versus what I've got behind me, the differences would be really apparent. So I'm not in any way saying that you can get high-tech results low-tech. You can. If you want to go high-tech, you've got to spend the money and get the gear. I'm just not really into that. I like doing it this way, you know, trying to find cheap ways and trying to tinker and do things here and there to try and get the best results I can on a lower sort of budget, a more realistic budget. You know, hopefully I can pull more of you into the hobby that way, and then you know, a certain percentage of that group will then move on to the high-tech area. So it serves all purposes and all areas of the industry as well. My main goals and targets though is bringing in new people to the hobby, or people that currently keep fish and don't realise how actually easy it is to keep plants as well. Okay, you've probably got to do a little bit more maintenance than if you just had a fish tank. No need for that. Than if you just had a fish tank, but it's not a lot. It's not a huge amount more, and you know, the only thing that I don't really keep up on is the trimming. And let's face it, plants look awesome if you trim or don't trim them, don't they? Sometimes they look a bit better if you do, as we proved with this tank when I trimmed it all up. I'll show a clip of that because it was quite funny. Beforehand I was like, I'm not trimming it, it looks great, and then I trimmed it all back and I was like, wow, that looks really good. So yeah guys, if you're already keeping fish, you want to keep plants as well, you can do something like what I've got behind me here. Nice and simple. Just go back through the videos, look for the build video, Peninsula Asian Fish Aquarium, and I'll show you how I built it. It started off really basic, to be honest, and the pearlweed took over, and then once you tame it back like I have now, it looks really good. I think a really easy plant in my experience to be able to grow without masses of lighting and CO2, but can carpet, can go up. It's really versatile actually. Pearlweed, #1. But then saying that, you can get the same effect with moss as well. So there's pearlweed, that'll need trimming again every 2-3 weeks. Mosses on the other hand, I've never trimmed this moss that you can see here. It was a few small little pebbles and it's sort of taken over. It does need a little trim back, but I do quite like it as well. It actually gives a darker look because you can see there that the pearlweed is really green versus the darker moss. And the same is to be said for this aquarium here, which is the Discus aquarium. So look, all this moss that you can see here, I planted this, or not planted it, I placed it in there on rocks when I set the tank up. What are we looking at now? Good 4 months ago. No, I haven't even been here 4 months. About 3 months ago when I set this up. Now look at it, it just takes over. It looks super clean. You don't have to do anything to it. I've never trimmed it. I just like that rough look in here. This tank to me is starting to look really natural and good now. Absolutely love it. Discus are just sat there, look, waiting to be fed. Always waiting to be fed. Guys, come on. I've noticed that this guy at the back here as well, you can see, he always stays at the back in that corner. That's his territory. He set it up. They don't bother him. He just stays there unless I come forward like now and get ready to feed them. I'll tell you what, let's give him some food. Here we go, look, munching. So discus are strange fish. Sometimes they like to eat directly out of the water column, and then other days I'll do it that none of them will touch it until it's gone to the bottom and sat down. Like I say guys, I added the power head in here and it's absolutely just nailed everything. There's no cyanobacteria anymore, like none, zero. You can't see any at all. But one result of that is the power head's quite strong and it pushes this fine sand away. Maybe I want to coarsen up the sand, but then I don't want to risk damaging, you know, the barbels on all the catfish, the Cory catfish. So that's sort of what I've just left as it is, and I don't actually mind it showing. Some of you guys were saying, oh, it'd look so much better if you didn't have that, but you know, all the fish are really happy and the plants are really happy. So I've sort of found a balance, and that's what fish keeping a lot of time is all about. Planted tanks, finding that balance. This tank really balanced. Look, great, balanced. Keep saying balanced. So that is it for this vlog, guys. As you've seen, we've got tons of stuff coming up, loads of new tanks. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, make sure you do that, and I will see you on the next one.